So anytime the world feels too heavy, like after reporting on all of the stories from our first segment, we always feel like we need to combat that with a not awful news roundup.
That's always fun. So if you're new here, this is just a roundup of feel-good stories because there are so many niche, uplifting stories that will make you smile that kind of get buried by a lot of the heavier stuff.
We came across such a cool story the other day. So scientists found that digital waterfalls might actually be more effective than medication when it comes to pain relief. So researchers at the University of Exeter ran this experiment with 29 healthy volunteers.
And they basically simulated pain by giving them electric shocks, and then they immersed them in classic 360 virtual reality. And they were shown scenes of the forests of Oregon, which is like so beautiful and lush.
And they found that these like VR forests and waterfalls reduced pain sensitivity nearly twice as effectively as painkillers, which is like crazy to me. And the relief actually lasted at least 5 minutes after this 45-minute experience. And they noticed that the more present people felt in VR, the stronger that the pain relief actually was.
All of this is, of course, mimicking the effects of real nature, which actually lights up the brain's own pain relief pathways and changes how the brain processes pain.
Right, which is why VR might be like so much more helpful than we would have originally thought. If you can't step outside because of where you live or because you're living in chronic pain, you can slip on a headset and just like see pictures of nature and actually feel better.
I mean, New York, living in New York, there is no nature. This would be so helpful here. And we have previously reported on how VR is being used in courtrooms to recreate crime scenes. So there's just so much potential. On to our next story. So Japan just rolled out the sweetest program you will probably ever hear about in your life. You can now rent a grandma in Japan.
No, it's such an incredible program. It launched in Tokyo, and you can literally hire a woman aged like 60 to 94 for stuff like cooking or life advice or even for moral support during like a breakup or something. Apparently, one customer said that they didn't have any family to bring to a wedding, so they literally hired a grandma to pretend to be a family member.
And clients pay about 3,000 yen per hour, which is only $20. And it's cool because then the seniors get meaningful work and company and, of course, pay. It's a win-win for everybody.
And we all know Japan has the world's most like rapidly aging population. So this is giving a huge portion of people who live in that country a really valuable, meaningful way to live.
Through our research, we know there are not a lot of jobs that are open to older women in Japanese society. It's really just like housework. So this also just opens another option for them.
And according to the service's website, quote, the merit of age is the ability to remain unfazed by small things. A Jamaican student just invented a self-disinfecting door handle for hospitals.
And this could be a game changer for any communal space with door handles, like hotels, restaurants, businesses, offices, especially in the post-COVID era.
So his name is Rayvon Stewart, and he built this special door handle called Zermasol that looks like a little Pac-Man. And every time you grab it to like open a door, a touch sensor activates UV lights that kill 99.9% of like bacteria and viruses and germs.
It's so cool. And apparently it's so cheap and easy to install, and it only takes 30 seconds for it to work and disinfect.
Which is huge, especially in places like the Caribbean where it's hot and bacteria spreads fast and budgets are pretty tight.
Well, Rayvon's already won multiple awards for it.
And he's currently seeking a patent under international intellectual property law for it and wants to like roll it out in other countries.
Please put him in charge of airline bathrooms next. Wait, Mabel, did you hear about it's like ancient Roman mosaic they just discovered in Sicily?
No, what is it?
So archaeologists just found this mosaic at the Villa Romano del Casale, which is this beautiful ancient Italian palace. And it shows sandals at the bottom of this cold plunge pool. But the craziest part is that they look exactly like modern flip-flops. Like if you're imagining Havaianas in your mind, like that's exactly what they look like. But this mosaic is from the 4th century CE.
So that's 1600 years ago, which is crazy. And I feel like every time we've seen like illustrations of ancient Romans, I always think of those like heavy gladiator sandals. So when do they wear these flip-flops?
Well, Romans would have worn them to the bathhouse or the frigidarium, which is like the cold plunge area, which is where this mosaic is located. And they would have been made of leather and, get this, sometimes wood. So imagine wood shoes.
Oh, I love this story. As you know, I'm literally obsessed with flip-flops, even though everyone comes at me for them. I'm wearing them right now, so
she is.
This is relatable. So astronomers just spotted what might be the largest black hole ever. It's 36 billion times the mass of our sun. And Ren, do you want to tell everyone what it's called?
It's called the Beyonce of the universe.
Iconic.
And it's one of the biggest objects ever detected ever. Its mass is greater than 100 Milky Way galaxies combined. So the entire galaxy that we're in times 100 plus more.
And it's pretty far away from us. It's hanging out about 5 billion light years away in a galaxy called the Cosmic Horseshoe, which is actually in the Leo constellation, which I'm a Leo, so this is a great story.
But the craziest part is that its gravity bends light, I don't know how you do that, from the galaxy behind it to create this perfect glowing circle. It's called an Einstein ring. It just looks like a halo floating in the sky.
And scientists figured this out by using a combination of gravitational lensing and tracking the motion of nearby stars because you can't see this black hole. And the scientists think that a black hole of such proportions could only originate from like galaxies colliding. And this is really scary. They're wondering whether that'll ultimately be the fate of our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists in South Korea have figured out how to restore a person's sense of smell using just radio waves. So no surgery, no chemicals.
Wait, like literally just radio waves if you turn on the radio?
No, literally. Like they use a tiny antenna and put it near the forehead to send gentle radio waves into the brain. And then after just literally 5 minutes, participants could detect really faint odors, like they say diluted alcohol or fruit scents, better than before.
Well, that is insane. How long does it last?
So one session of this would improve the smell sensitivity for over a week, which is crazy because there isn't anything invented that actually helps with this yet.
I mean, this could be a game changer for people who lose their smell because of an injury or illness or long COVID. That's really common.
Yeah, did you ever lose your sense of smell after getting COVID?
Just in the acute phase of like the first few days of being sick. But remember, during the pandemic, there were all those people on social media talking about how they're losing their sense of smell and taste, like some permanently, some for years. So I really hope they see this study. And we love to end on an animal story. So scientists have just confirmed a third species of manta ray in the world.
Yeah, it's called the Atlantic manta, and it's literally giant. Like it ranges from 16 to 20 feet. And I guess they can be found swimming on the US East Coast all the way down to Brazil through the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico.
So marine biologists have suspected there was another unknown type of manta ray for decades, but they've just never found it until now. And I had no idea until now there were only 2 species of manta ray.
That was really surprising. And scientists say that this one specifically stands out with V-shaped white patches on its shoulders, a lighter face. And apparently they say you can tell the difference between different types of rays because of the patterns on their underbelly. So this one has dark underbelly spots.
And one of the craziest parts is that its genetics show that it only recently diverged from other manta rays. So we're actually